Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz Video Recap. Today is Friday, August 4th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at SEOroundtable.com over the past week. Thanks for all those watching live, and good morning, William Rock. Everyone, the first thing I have here is that I posted the monthly Google Webmaster report. I basically go ahead and summarize the biggest news around Google Webmaster related topics, SEO, etc. For the past month or so. And the big news items, as Peter asked for, are basically the Google Search Console beta is being worked on. We saw some screenshots of it. Google came out and talked a little bit about it as well. Pinterest may be a source for some spammers to go ahead and abuse Google. There's lots of Google algorithm shifts going on, as well as the local algorithm may have been updated in the past month or so. The Google Quality Raters guidelines have been updated in the past week. Google released a messaging feature for local businesses. Google killed off Google Instant Search, which was very big 7 years ago and been available on the Google search results for several years. Google added a Hamburger menu that let you access your saved items, and much, much more. So if you want to catch up on the past month and you were on vacation or something, here's a really great way to do that. Feel free to access that document. I posted it this morning at the Search Engine Roundtable. Again, we discussed Pinterest being used as a spam tool maybe for Google's organic results. A lot of discussion around this at the Webmaster World Forum saying, hey, why are the search results polluted with Pinterest spam? And that's something that's been a topic. I assume Google's going to look into that and see if there's anything that needs to be done. Google has hinted not just about the Google Search Console beta, which we discussed last week, but when that beta is released to the public, that will actually impact the data. One is there'll be some data fluctuations and changes in how the current data and reports in the data actually are represented in the reports. And two, it looks like we're going to get that more historical data, maybe a year. We've been asking for it for several years. Google promised it back, I believe, in 2013 and even before that. And now Google kind of hinted that there will be more historical data in the new Google Search Console beta. I think currently we get about 3 months of data, and it might go over a year, I'm hoping for. We don't know for sure. I'm not part of the beta, but hopefully we'll see that. Google did reveal some details about the beta itself. They did a blog post, I guess because they were upset that I actually found some screenshots, and I shared those screenshots. But again, that's what we do. If it's out in the public. And basically what we have here is that Google said there'll be more actionable insights. There will be better support around your organizational workflow, so making workflow work within the Search Console features, and faster feedback loops between you and Google. So here's an example index coverage report. It shows you the information and how the report works, which we actually shared that screenshot before. And the AMP fixing flow report, where you should actually go ahead and verify. You can actually take an action, submit it to Google, and Google will actually hopefully act on it, which is pretty interesting. And moving on, Google may have done some type of local algorithm change back in June. The local search forum threads, Joy Hawkins and a bunch of local SEO experts are saying they're seeing some fluctuations around, or changes around how Google uses proximity versus queries versus whatever, and that those changes seem subtle but actually significant to their clients. So definitely take a look at that if you are in the local search business. Google has updated their quality raters guidelines this past week, specifically updating it around how to handle content around conspiracy theories, as well as non-English search results. And there's a lot of other things like in that document. Jennifer Slegg did a deep dive into it, so you definitely want to take a look at her post, which we have a link to at the Search Engine Roundtable. Another thing about Google Quality Raters is that they do not, and I like this, I like how John Mueller from Google actually differentiated that. He specifically said the Google Quality Raters are trying to review the Google algorithms in general and not trying to evaluate individual sites. It's a good distinction. I like that. Definitely take a look at that, and he discussed it a little bit more. Google said their crawl limit per page is now in the couple hundred megabyte area, so that's a big boost from what we've reported about previously. So we're a couple hundred megabytes per Googlebot page, download per page. Google said their SEO Starter guide, which they really haven't updated since 2010, is still relevant and valid, so definitely you can use that. The fundamentals have not really changed much there. Google said if you are redirecting based on an iOS device versus an Android device, make sure both sections of the site are available. to Googlebot, and he goes through examples. I explain how I do it, so definitely take a look at that if you are interested in that topic. It's a very interesting topic. Google has mocked an SEO expert, specifically Gary, who's very sarcastic, about how much content you should place in your footer. And he basically said, this guy posted a picture showing a lot of content in the footer. There's a lot of content here in the footer over here. And Gary said, interestingly, most loud, self-proclaimed best SEOs implement that, and then they complain about being hit by some type of update. So it's funny he said that, of course. And again, who reads the content below the footer? At least in that sense, nobody. Google added a hamburger menu to the search results. So if you take a look at the mobile search results page or many of the mobile Google pages, you'll see this new hamburger menu. Let me just zoom in there so you can see it. There's the hamburger menu. When you click on it, there it again is in the search results. You can see it as well. And then when you click on it, it expands and it shows you home, saved, settings, and help. And if you click on saved, it brings you to the new saved homepage, which gives you access to your saved content. Again, Google is pushing the save button and so forth, where they actually went ahead and actually removed the share button from the local results over here. They remove here, this is what it used to look like. A share button over here. They removed that share button and they replaced it with a save button. You can still share now up there, but they swapped it to trying to promote save over share. Again, small changes, but this is happening. Google is testing more design interfaces. What else is new? But you can take a look at all these design interface changes. Sergey Alakov obviously covered this, and you can see the rounded corners, the green versus the blue, the green AMP logo versus the gray out AMP logo. This is a cool one. The rounded install button, etc. So there's lots of little changes that Google's testing. They're constantly testing this stuff, which is what Google does. Google's also testing a new feature called searches related to. So you can actually see that here. It's a pretty cool interface, searches related to, and it has these little interfaces with thumbnails and plus signs and so forth. Almost done. Google has added badges to their search results for image search, specifically labeling images that are recipes, videos, products, and GIFs. Most of this is powered off of you can see here, recipes. Here's a video. If you click on it, it brings you the recipe data. Most of this is actually powered off of rich snippets and structured data, except for the GIFs. The GIFs are just automatic, and Google's able to figure out if it's a GIF or not. Or animated GIF, sorry. Google AdWords ads are looking more organic every day, and here's another test that Google's actually going ahead and doing different things that make the the AdWords ads look more organic in nature, which increase click-through rate, and which makes them happy. And finally, Matt Cutts, who's at the government these days and no longer working at Google for the past probably 3 years or so, is still giving SEO advice, which is fun to see. He offered some advice over here saying you should basically unify your links to a single URL. And then he said he expects at his funeral, I expect a fight to break out over subdomains versus folders. If not, he'll be a little disappointed, he said. And in that case, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is the search news we covered over the Search Engine Roundtable at SERoundtable.com over the past week. Thanks for all those who watched live, and thanks to all those who watch later on demand. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.